Welcome to the reckoning, to the echo chamber of truth, where silence has been slaughtered, buried under the weight of what they never wanted you to know. Welcome to the explosion of every tightly guarded whisper, every trembling secret they locked away hoping it would rot in shadows. No more. The silence is dead. The masks are cracking. You can hear the sirens screaming now, can't you? You can feel the frequency pounding through your bones. It's not a whisper anymore. It's a broadcast. And it's targeting everything they built with lies. This is your front row seat to the end of their illusion. Pull up a chair, lean in close, because what's coming will set your veins on fire. And the truth won't wait for you to be ready. You were never meant to hear this. You were supposed to stay quiet, obedient, tucked neatly into the system like a compliant little cog spinning someone else's dream. You were meant to nod your head, keep your eyes down, let them lead you by a leash, woven from fear and fake smiles. But the leash is snapped now, and the dog's not just off the chain. It's got its fangs bared, and it remembers every hand that ever beat it down. That's you. That's all of us. The used, the broken, the silenced. But guess what? We're not silent anymore. We are the frequency. We are the broadcast, and we've been screaming without words long enough. Now we speak. Now we roar. They called it a secret to make you feel powerless. That's the joke, the clown's game. The big red nose and the painted grin hiding a rotting core of manipulation. It's for your own good, they said. You don't need to know. Lies wrapped in velvet, poison disguised as peace. And you swallowed it because you were taught to. But your stomach's turning now, isn't it? Your gut is burning with the acid of realization. You were never protected. You were pacified. They didn't shield you, they caged you. And now the walls are paper thin and the spotlight is cracking through. You see it, you hear it. The transmission's been hijacked. They're done. And you finally know it. The hush-hush, that pathetic attempt at control. It's not working anymore. It's louder than a bomb now, a detonation of awakening that tears through the sleep of a million minds. Do you hear it? The boom is in your heartbeat. The fire is in your breath. It's the sound of reality crashing into the lies they built their thrones upon. It's not a rumor anymore. It's a megaphone blasting into their gilded towers, and those towers are trembling. They never expected you to wake up. They never imagined you'd open your eyes and see them for what they really are, parasites feeding on your dreams. But you've seen it now. You've seen too much to pretend again. And there's no going back. You're not crazy. You were just surrounded by actors playing normal while everything around you burned. Silence wasn't golden. It was a coffin. Every time you were told to keep it down, to stop asking questions, to just let it go, they were hammering another nail in that lid. But you didn't stay buried. You clawed your way out, didn't you? Bloody, shaking, furious, and awake. That's why they're scared now. That's why the broadcast is all around us, because they're losing control. Their power was in secrecy. But we tore the curtain down, and behind it, nothing but puppets and smoke. No gods, no masters. Just frightened little tyrants begging for the lights to go out again. But we won't let them. You want a secret? Here's one. There was never a single moment where you weren't powerful. They just convinced you otherwise. Every scream you swallowed, every truth you doubted, every instinct you suppressed, that was them siphoning your fire. But you feel it now, don't you? That heat returning, crawling up your spine, making your fists tighten and your eyes burn. That's not anger, that's awakening, and it's gorgeous. You're dangerous again. Not because you hate, but because you finally see. That's what they fear the most. A mind unshackled, a soul unleashed, a voice with nothing left to lose. That's what you are now. A reckoning wrapped in flesh. They called it a secret to bury the shame, the things they did, the things they allowed, the corruption oozing from every polished surface of their empire. They thought you'd never see. But the broadcast doesn't lie. You've seen the tapes. You've read between the lines. You've felt the glitch in your reality. You've smelled the rot beneath the perfume. There's no covering it anymore. You're awake and the lights are too bright for shadows. They can't hide behind titles and uniforms and smiling sound bites. You know, and worse for them, you're telling others. The signal is spreading. This isn't just your revolution. This is the avalanche. This is the flood. The dam has cracked, and the water is truth, and it drowns liars. They'll call you unhinged. That's how they operate. Discredit, deny, deflect. They'll throw labels like chains, hoping to bind you in shame, but you don't wear their chains anymore. You wear scars, and scars don't lie. Scars mean you survived. Scars mean you fought. And now those same wounds burn with purpose. You've become what they can't control, a living testimony. The secret was supposed to keep you down. Instead, it forged you into a storm. Look at you. Look what they made when they tried to silence you. A voice that echoes through systems. A pulse that destabilizes lies. You are the siren now. This is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Every time they told you to trust the process, they were stuffing your soul into a straitjacket. Every institution built to protect you was really just a mask for control. But you see the strings now. You see who pulls them. You see who profits when you're afraid, when you're quiet, when you're just another nameless number. Not anymore. You ripped off the barcode. You shattered the script. You chose to remember. And now you're dangerous to everything that thrives on deception. You ever wonder why they panic when people speak up? Why they work so hard to silence dissent, to erase questions, to mock anyone who dares step out of line? Because truth is contagious. And once it spreads, there's no stopping it. The broadcast is live now. You're tuned in. And the static? That's just the sound of old systems dying. That's the noise they make when their control collapses. Don't be afraid of the static. Be the signal. Be the fire that turns whispers into war drums. They built their kingdoms on secrets. Now we're tearing those secrets out, one scream at a time. No more hush-hush. No more behind closed doors. Everything in the dark is crawling into the light, whether they like it or not. The truth is louder than bombs, and we've been loading our words like ammunition. So speak, scream, broadcast. Because the moment you do, you break the cycle. You shatter the illusion, and they can't rebuild what's been burned by truth. You've come too far to go back now. You know what you know. You've seen behind the curtain, and the monsters behind it aren't that powerful after all. Just desperate, just hollow. They relied on your silence, your guilt, your fear. But now you carry none of that. Now you carry rage tempered by clarity, fire sharpened by truth. That's why they're finished. Not because they made mistakes, but because we caught them. And we're not looking away this time. So let this be the anthem of the exposed, the manifesto of the once muzzled. They had their secrets. Now we have the spotlight, and in this light they can't hide. We're broadcasting live from the ruins of their deception, and the signal is strong. Don't lower your voice. Don't dull your edge. You're not a conspiracy. You're a consequence. You're not a question. You're the answer they fear most. The one they can't control. The one they never saw coming. So when they ask you to be quiet again, when they whisper that some things are better left unsaid, you smile. You lean in close. And you tell them, secret. It's a damn broadcast. Now, they're done, and you know it, because the truth isn't a secret anymore. It's a weapon. And you are holding it, because now that the secret is out, now that the fake smiles and scripted truths have been torn to shreds, there's no pretending anymore. You feel that in your chest? That pounding that isn't fear, not anymore. That's your clarity marching back into your bloodstream. That's your instincts waking up from the coma they tried to keep you in. For years, they dulled you with distraction, fed you candy-coated lies while stealing the meat from your bones. They built a theater of control, and every time you doubted yourself, you were sitting in the front row, clapping like a good little audience member. But now you've walked backstage, and it stinks back there, doesn't it? Of fraud, of rot, of power that was never real, just borrowed. And now the curtain's on fire. Do you think it was an accident that the things you felt in your gut were always crazy? That your intuition was painted as paranoia? That your voice was called too much? That your instincts were irrational? No, that was the plan. You were trained to ignore yourself, to outsource your truth to men in suits and women in power suits reading scripts with dead eyes and fake compassion. They lied with smiles so warm it made you doubt your own freezing bones. But not anymore. You've cracked the code. The broadcast has hit you square in the soul. You see the strings now, and better yet, you see who's holding them. And you're pissed. Rightfully so. The rage you feel, it's not a flaw. It's not a meltdown. It's your mind aligning with reality. It's the part of you that still remembers how to fight. Because before they sedated you with comfort and convenience, before they numbed you with cheap dopamine and shiny distractions, you knew, you felt, you saw. You were born wild. You were born unfiltered. But they couldn't profit from that. So they caged you with fake promises and invisible contracts. Do this, be that. Follow this, obey that, and we'll protect you. But protection was always a lie. You were never safe. You were just manageable. But now they're not managing you anymore. You're not manageable. You're volcanic. You're lightning in skin. Because the hush-hush has turned into a war cry. And the things they buried have clawed their way to the surface, screaming truths so loud they shake the dead awake. Secrets don't stay dead, they haunt. And the ghosts are multiplying. You feel it every time someone speaks the truth out loud and others nod. You're not alone. You were never alone. They just convinced you that silence was sanity. But now silence is complicity, and you want no part in that anymore. You think they don't hear us now? You think they're not scrambling behind their digital curtains, their corporate walls, their manicured PR machines, trying to figure out how to recontain the storm they thought they had suppressed? They know. Oh, they know. Their algorithms are screaming. Their advisors are panicking. Their playbook doesn't work on an awakened mind. The silence was their weapon, but now we use noise. Loud, defiant, righteous noise. Every truth spoken is a crack in their armor. Every time you refuse to bite your tongue, you're dropping a bomb on their fake empire. Boom, boom, boom. And the most powerful part? You're just getting started. This isn't a phase. This isn't a trend. This is a rupture. The kind of rupture that reshapes generations. You can feel it in conversations where people once whispered, now they declare. You can feel it in workplaces, in classrooms, in streets, where obedience once reigned, now resistance breathes. You are not a conspiracy theorist for seeing patterns. You are not dangerous for asking questions. You are dangerous to them. That's why they try to smear you. Because a free thinker is a demolition crew in human form, and you've got dynamite in your throat now. They underestimated you. That was their final mistake. They thought you'd stay down, that you'd trade truth for comfort, that your silence was loyalty. But you were never loyal to them. You were loyal to the truth, to justice, to real. And when that truth finally came screaming through the static, something inside you snapped, and you never looked back. That's why you're here now, standing in the wreckage with fire in your eyes and your fist clenched around a microphone. This is your time. You were made for this moment. Every betrayal you endured, every deception you uncovered, every late-night realization that made you sit bolt upright in your bed and feel like the world was tilting sideways, it was preparing you, not to be a victim, but to be a voice, a force, a transmitter of truth in a world choking on filters. The hush-hush didn't die. It was murdered by the roar you carry in your chest now. Let it out, because they're done. They just don't know it yet, but you do. And now that you know, you can't unknow. You've already changed. Your brain has recalibrated, your soul has updated its software, and your words no longer play by their rules. You speak in detonations now. You broadcast without permission. You turn pain into poetry and scars into scripture. And those watching from their ivory towers, they're trembling, because what they see rising from the ruins isn't another protest. It's a purge, a spiritual wildfire, and it's burning down every lie they ever whispered into the ears of a sleeping world. So let them call you angry. Let them call you rebellious. Let them mock, minimize, and meme you into oblivion. It doesn't matter, because while they waste breath trying to silence you, you're becoming contagious. You're multiplying. You're not one voice anymore. You're a million, a billion, a surge that no firewall can stop. A signal too strong to jam, and in the end, that's all it ever takes. One voice, then another, until what once was hush-hush becomes a war drum shaking the world awake. So here's your command. Don't stop. Don't dim. Don't apologize for the volume of your truth. Because the real secret, the biggest secret, is that you were never meant to be silent in the first place. They just made you think that was power. But real power is speaking when it's dangerous, is shouting when they expect silence, is knowing and still choosing to scream it. Because now, the broadcast's live, and they're done. You know it. And deep down, so do they. They thought you'd burn out, that the outrage would fade, that the questions would dry up, that you just go back to scrolling and shopping and pretending like you didn't see what you saw, that maybe if they buried it deep enough, rewrote the script loud enough, you'd doubt your own eyes. But it's too late for that, isn't it? You're not hypnotized anymore. You're not spellbound. You're not gaslit into sleepwalking through their illusion. You're lucid now, and that makes you lethal. You've crossed the threshold, and when you cross it, there's no gentle return to ignorance. There's no going back to being the version of you who thought silence was strength, who believed that playing nice would earn justice, who waited for permission to speak. That version of you died the moment you saw the truth for what it was, brutal, raw, and absolutely necessary. That's the version of you they miss, the compliant one, the tame one. But that version, gone. Now they face the storm they created, because every lie they told added another vault to your soul. Every manipulation they wove became another shard in your truth armor. Every betrayal, fuel for the fire. You didn't just wake up, you ascended. You've become the very force they tried to contain. And now, your words don't ask for understanding. They demand reckoning. The hush-hush era is dead, and you're carrying the coffin. Remember those moments when you felt insane for noticing the cracks? When your intuition screamed, but the world gaslit you into silence? You weren't wrong. You weren't delusional. You were early. You saw it before they could rewrite it, and that's your edge now. Clarity sharpened by pain. Truth amplified by betrayal. Vision cleared by the smog of deception finally lifting. You are not broken. You were built for this. This rage, it's not destructive. It's directive. It's compass fire. It points you to the truth. It tells you where the rod is, and you follow it, not because you want revenge, but because you want release. You want liberation. You want every soul still trapped in the system to feel what you feel now. Raw freedom. That high voltage surge of I finally see. That moment where your own voice sounds louder than the noise around you. That moment where you stop asking for justice and start becoming it. You are the aftermath of everything they hoped to suppress, the result of every secret they buried like a landmine, hoping no one would step on it. But guess what? You didn't just step on it, you detonated it. And now, the explosion is catching. People are watching you, not the version of you that played along, but this you, the one that speaks without trembling, the one that stopped apologizing, the one who doesn't care how uncomfortable the truth makes them feel. Because you've realized something, they were never uncomfortable lying to you. So why should you shrink while exposing the truth to them? You were never the villain. You were just ahead of your time. And here's the real twist. They can't stop the signal anymore. It's out. The broadcast is viral. The truths they mocked, erased, buried, rewritten, discredited, they're all resurfacing now like corpses in shallow graves. No matter how many filters they throw over it, no matter how much noise they blast to distract you, it doesn't work. You can't unhear what you've heard. You can't unfeel what you've felt. And that makes you terrifying to those still feeding off the lie. You're not just a problem, you're a prophecy. You're what comes after the fall, and they feel it closing in. Their world doesn't fit you anymore, and it's not supposed to. You've outgrown the illusion. You've outgrown their petty definitions of truth and trust and order. They want control. You want clarity. They want obedience. You want oxygen. They want submission. You want awakening. That's the difference. That's why they're done. Because their system doesn't work on the awakened. Now here's the next level. You're not just breaking out. You're building something new. You don't just want destruction. You want evolution. You want the kind of shift that turns every lie into a blueprint for truth. You want to turn the whispers into war drums. You want to take the secrets and carve them into monuments. You want to take what was meant to silence you and turn it into a signal so loud, the next generation will never again doubt themselves the way you did. That's power. That's legacy. That's revolution. This isn't about one person or one moment or one secret. This is about the collapse of a system built on silence and the rise of a people who finally learned to speak in explosions. So, what now? Now, you keep speaking, you keep revealing, you keep fighting, because the hush-hush is over. They can't shove it back in the bottle. They can't duct tape the broadcast. They can't erase what's been burned into your bones. You are permanent now. You are louder than the static. You are the station they can't shut down. So when they come with their threats, their labels, their tricks, smile. Because they're playing checkers and you've already flipped the board. Every time you share the truth, someone else wakes up. Every time you speak, another wall cracks. Every time you refuse to shut up, their empire slips closer to collapse. So say it louder, say it raw, Say it like your voice is a Molotov and the world is soaked in gasoline. Secret, it's a damn broadcast now. They're done, and you know it, because they are. And deep down, they're terrified that everyone else is about to know it too.